Hafa day and welcome to this episode of Triton TV News. I'm your host, Bradley Bartonico.
And I'm Shannon Natta. And happy birthday to our favorite and only producer, Maralea Torsolino. For today's episode, we learn about the recent update in data storage at the Marine Lab. And also explore how the UOG Film Festival paves the way for young aspiring filmmakers. After that, we investigate the issue of math remedial courses and explore more about the honey-making business on island.
Students who are struggling to keep up with their academic life are welcome to get some much-needed help. The UOG AmeriCorps Volunteer Center, in collaboration with the Bounce Back program, is currently holding their Healthy Habits workshops for UOG students. However, though it is open to all UOG students, these AmeriCorps workshops have been dealing with an issue of a lack of attendance. Kateri Santos, an AmeriCorps member, explains that although attendance is low, AmeriCorps continues to hold these workshops.
It's dependent on their schedules as well, but this is all for the academic success of post-secondary students, so we just offer as much as possible.
According to Santos, a typical workshop attendance is one student every couple of weeks. During these workshops, students take part in activities and learn of different ways to adjust their habits in order to have a healthier lifestyle. Catherine Santos, an attending student at UOG, is required to attend at least 3 of these workshops this semester as part of the Bounce Back program. Santos, who is the only student to attend the workshop on this day, gives her guess on why she was the only one in attendance.
I think I'm the only person that attended today is either because the other people who are on the program either have work, have school, or to be honest, maybe they just didn't want to attend.
Even though she was the only attendee, Santos says she has learned a lot during the workshop and recommends it to students who have a hard time balancing their work and school life. AmeriCorps continues to hold these workshops and activities, and it is encouraging more students to attend. If you're interested, you can catch their next series of workshops on study skills next week.
The Marine Lab contains some of the most invaluable data regarding aquatic life around Micronesia and Guam. In recent years, the data it holds has undergone a revitalization process. Triton TV News reporter Bradley Bartonico showcases the importance of a little-known scientific treasure.
Guam and Micronesia are home to some of the most unique marine plants and animals in the world. The Guam Ecosystems Collaboratorium, also known as Guam EBSCOR, focuses on the effects of climate change on coral reefs. Guam EBSCOR created a biorepository, a virtual museum that showcases unique marine life to the public. Dr. Terry Donaldson, project director of Guam EBSCOR, goes into detail of the contents within the biorepository.
It has tissue samples, it has whole organisms, like a museum would, but it also has an online database that's accessible, and you can be anywhere in the world. If you've got internet connection, you can go into our database and see what we've got.
Dr. Donaldson has been a part of the project since the beginning. During this time, Donaldson has seen the many ups and downs the biorepository has gone through, notably the storage of its marine life. Donaldson notes how the issue of storage affects the biorepository.
Anything else we might care to put in the biorepository in terms of whole specimens, we don't have the space right now to store them adequately. And we've lost a number of specimens because of poor curation practices in the past. We've taken steps to remedy that situation.
Here at the biorepository, fish and other species like coral are preserved in jars waiting to be photographed and uploaded to an online database.
As soon as they are uploaded, all the images are available to be viewed by the public. Dr. Donaldson is not the only member of Guam EBSCOR that faces issues with the biorepository.
So we have 2 specimens in here.
Researcher Kahohinani Kawagashi talks about the challenges of handling the preserved marine life.
A lot of the fish specimens date back to the 60s. They were captured in the 60s. So we have to be very, very fragile with preserving the specimens, especially when we're refilling the ethanol.
Although there are issues the biorepository faces, there are some rewarding experiences for those a part of the project. Researcher Kelsey Ebling-Whited shares the positives of working for the biorepository.
I think that's the best part, is just seeing that group of fish that still need to be cataloged shrinking.
With the biorepository, you can go to the Guam EBSCOR website and search for fishes, corals, and other types of marine life. The website shows images and the location of different specimens through the use of geotagging. Dr. Donaldson hopes that by creating this database, people can understand the importance of taking care of our marine life.
And if we have an understanding about the species limits for all of the different species that are found in, let's say, a coral reef community, Overall, it gives us a better understanding of what we've got, but also how we might manage them effectively so that we don't lose species, because we've got a lot of stress in the environment right now from climate change, and that's a big concern, that we're losing things that we don't even know what they are yet.
In the future, the Guam EPSCoR program hopes to establish a research museum that provides better conditions to house the specimens. It will also compile all the data within the biorepository in hopes that it will attract students to come and study Guam's unique biodiversity. This is Bradley Bartonico, Triton TV News.
Thanks, Bradley.
No problem.
We look forward to seeing the different types of marine life the biorepository has to offer.
As they say in Hollywood, lights, camera, action. From short narratives to documentaries, film festivals give people a chance to feature their work to a bigger audience. Triton TV News reporter Kayla Iata shares about an out-of-this-world experience attending UOG's annual film festival.
Aspiring student filmmakers were given the chance to see what the future has in store for them with the University of Guam's annual film festival. The University of Guam Film Festival was created by Kel Munya and other fellow communication professors. Since its establishment in 2015, the film festival's popularity has increased steadily and will hopefully continue to grow within the upcoming years.
The UOG Film Festival has come a long way since we founded it in 2015, and it's about 4 years later, now it's 2019, and it's completely student run. So that means the students are an integral, pivotal part in the structure at the very beginning of the process of filmmaking within the community. So they're taking it from the scholastic level and maturing into the professional level after school, and from what I've seen so far this year, they're doing a great job.
Indie Filmmaking, a class offered by the university, is a course where students are in charge of creating and directing their own short film. Keanu Fausto, the current director for this year's class, explains how the other communication classes, combined with indie filmmaking, helped him and his class succeed.
The class itself was an opportunity for us to kind of put the skills that we've learned throughout all the classes we've learned, such as broadcast production, such with learning programs like Adobe Premiere, and applying those skills into producing a short narrative.
The recent indie filmmaking class created a short film called Left on Red, where it was premiered at this year's film festival. Maralea Torcelino expresses the satisfaction that comes with creating and publishing a piece to debut to an audience.
I've watched it so many times, but it felt different watching it with other people in it that's not a part of the class and seeing their reaction to it. So it was like a proud moment for me and like a proud moment for our classmates as well who were there seeing our film, like actually like wow, it's there, it's done, and we did that.
The UOG Film Festival is a great opportunity for students to showcase their filmmaking skills, and UOG also hopes to increase the amount of attendees next year.
The UOG Film Festival happens annually and is continuing to do an excellent job in encouraging aspiring students to demonstrate and present their talents in filmmaking. Kayla Iata, Triton TV News.
Thanks, Kayla. Will next year's film festival see a rise in attendance? We'll just have to wait and see.
We'll be back after the break, but stay tuned to see how remedial courses can negatively affect a student, followed by the sweet details on locally produced honey.
They say there are two kinds of people in this world. Those who find themselves and those who create themselves. Are you looking for purpose or deciding it for yourself? Will you plunge waiting for someone to catch you? Or will you jump and build your wings on the way down? Seek a path or carve a path. Wait for the future or build it. What is a school but a set of walls waiting for greatness? And who are you but someone destined to achieve it? Here, between the street and the jungle, against time and tide, we push and pull just like the currents. Our ocean of dreams will meet the odds ahead and rise above it all.
Hafaday, and welcome back to Triton TV News.
Math. For many students, it's a sore subject, but it shouldn't be. Triton TV News reporter Shannon Atta takes a look at the math development courses at UOG and how remedial placement is affecting students.
Antonia Camacho, UOG freshman, was placed into MA 085 Level 2 last fall. This is not uncommon. In fact, 41.2% of students in her cohort were placed in that course, and a significant 69% of her cohort were placed in remedial math altogether.
A lot of people were finishing before me, and I didn't realize that they were done with the test. If you finish first, that means, you're in the lower math class because you didn't move on to the last test that you need to. And so I was kind of rushing a little bit because, everyone was finishing and I was just stressed out. And I didn't realize that I had more time to focus on getting to the last test, and I didn't realize that you need to get to the last test.
UOG uses online placement called the AccuPlacer to test students for remedial math. Camacho said that the instructions for the online test were not explained well, and that could have caused her low placement. Dr. Leslie Aquino, chair and associate professor of math and computer science, believes that the AccuPlacer places students better than the previous paper test.
But with AccuPlacer itself, we've got a much better way of determining what is a student's actual skill level. We weren't able to do that as well with the paper test because there were fewer questions and over a wide range of topics. Whereas here they get a cluster of topics on basic math, a cluster of topics on algebra and other functions, and then a cluster of topics on the more complicated higher order functions. So we get a better idea of, are they really ready for level 2 or 110, 115?
According to Aquino, the AccuPlacer was just implemented in 2017, so the department is still comparing data in recent years to see if the test is more effective. But still, there are many students like Camacho who are being placed in remedial math. The department offers services like the Math Tutor Lab to help students. Vince Campo, Math TA, says that students don't take advantage of their services.
I think definitely the biggest stigma is kind of just walking through the door, admitting that you do need help, that you do need math tutoring. So I think that's really just the hardest part, just to get them through the door and say, I need help with math.
So how about a standard deviation?
Standard deviation is for your whole data, not just one single point. You know what I mean?
The Math Tutor Lab is located here on the second floor of the Agricultural and Life Sciences building. According to Campo, not many students utilize this resource or even know where it's at. Another issue is that when students get placed in remedial math, it often sets them back from graduating on time. Or they have to compensate by taking intersession courses, which not all students can afford to do.
I just finished paying for a fall semester a couple of weeks ago, and I haven't paid for spring. And I didn't plan to take summer classes because I wanted my parents to recoup with money, but it's okay. It's my mom says if I have to do it, then I have to do it.
Camacho says that like many of her classmates, she felt she didn't belong in the remedial course, and it was probably just that she needed a refresher before taking the placement test. According to Aquino, the math department continues to address the problem of many students placing in remedial courses and hopes that more students take advantage of the Math Tutor Lab to get out of those courses as quickly as possible. Shannon Atta, Triton TV News.
Thank you, Shannon.
No problem.
If you're seeking help from the Math Tutor Lab, you can visit them from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 at room 230 in the ALS building.
Now, you've seen them in those adorable bear bottles and maybe even topped them on your favorite food. Yes, I'm talking about honey. But do you know where your honey comes from? Triton TV News reporter Amanda Fanotnia introduces us to someone who's got the buzz on honey.
Paul Packbeer, the only master beekeeper on Guam, has been fascinated with honeybees all his life.
Oh yeah, that one's heavy.
3 years ago, he decided to turn his hobby with bees into a business and launched Island Honeybee. However, he didn't get into the honey business for profit, but did it for much bigger reasons.
So to me, it's called Island Honey Bee. It's not Island Honey, because to me it's about the bee. And to me the most important part of my hobby, my business, is that honey bee, and the honey is surplus.
Packbeer is part of a local community of beekeepers who practice bee-centric beekeeping, which is a philosophy that places the needs of the bees before the wants of humans. According to a United States Department of Agriculture survey, bees are declining at an alarming rate. In the U.S. alone, bee colonies have dropped from 5 million in 1988 to 2.5 million today. For this reason, Packbeer and other local beekeepers operate their business while keeping the importance of bees in mind. One such beekeeper is Micah Griffith, founder of the family-owned Hoffaday Honey.
A lot of times people think about bees and they make honey and that's about it, or that they sting you also and that's about it. But the most important thing about the bees is the fact that they pollinate.
As part of his process, Pack Beer harvests and sells his honey only when the bees have an excess amount to offer.
I'm here at Island Honeybee, located in Triton, Guam, where Paul Packbeer harvests his raw local honey and stores them in bottles just like these. This 12-ounce bottle can run you $15, while 3 of these can go for $10. These prices may seem hefty compared to those sold in local supermarkets, but Packbeer claim that the benefits outweigh the costs.
Along with Packbeer, Dr. Ross Miller, an entomologist at the University of Guam, warns the public about the issues with commercial honey.
There's been a problem. In some countries, people have been cutting the honey that's sold in stores with water or with corn syrup and other things. So there's very few things in life that taste better than fresh honey from the comb. The honey that you buy in a store is not, it can't compare to the fresh honey, just like almost everything.
By selling his raw, local honey, Packbeer hopes that customers will go home with a deeper appreciation for honeybees.
I think to get people to understand the importance of honeybees and local honey, and not use, Raid or any kind of insect killer whenever they see bugs around. If people can buy local honey, they'll start to recognize that bees are very important.
Although Packbeer understands that his beekeeping business is currently unprofitable, he encourages more people to learn about bees and why we should keep them healthy. This is Amanda Finagna, Triton TV News.
Thanks, Amanda. Who knew bees contributed so much to our island? Next time I'm out shopping for honey, I'll be sure to think twice about where it comes from.
It's definitely important to take advantage of the resources UOG offers, especially if you pay for them. But not every student is actually aware of the kinds of resources that UOG charges through student fees. Every semester, students pay $12 in fees for health services, but what exactly are students paying for? According to the EMSS Dean Lawrence Camacho, UOG does not even have a school nurse. Camacho says that it's hard to get nurses to work for UOG because the community setting is different from a clinical setting.
We've been doing it for quite a long time now and have had challenges along the way, but we continue to strive. We are re-looking at a different strategy now on how to attract a nurse to come and serve in our clinic.
Currently, the department is run by UOG senior nursing student John Sablon. Sablon has been working there for over 5 years.
So we're open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, except for weekends and holidays. However, because staff is really short, because it's just me and another colleague of mine, and I'm still going to school, it is a challenge sometimes to keep it running from 8 a.m. to 5.
According to Sablon, some of the fees students pay for go to providing health and wellness outreach events. The department can also provide first aid, CPR, check your vitals, BMI, and weight. They also have a defibrillator in the event an emergency happens on campus.
So far, we've been trying to expand our services, adding in maybe even blood glucose in there. Unfortunately, we do not have an extensive amount of services just due to the healthcare provider shortage in our community.
Camacho said that the search for a nurse is an ongoing endeavor. Until then, Sablon will have to continue to run the department.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Triton TV News. I'm Bradley Bartonico.
I'm Shannon Atta, and we hope to see you next season.